Have you ever been in the middle of a movie project when you had the idea for some simple animation effects, but then realized that you were limited by the ability of your movie editing software? If so, this is the video for you. Of course, one solution to your problem would be to upgrade your video editing software, but getting a good animation software can be pricey, and even if you go with an open source animation suite like Blender, these high-level programs can often take hours to learn and are almost certainly overkill for a simple animation project. A simpler solution is to use software that you already have, is easier to learn, and that you may even be familiar with already. This tutorial will show you how to use simple presentation software like Apple Keynote or Microsoft PowerPoint to create simple animations and export them in a format you could use in almost any video editor. You could use this method to create intro or end screens, create rolling credits, highlight elements on a screen, animate other scenes within a video, or use your imagination to accomplish lots of other tasks. To keep this video short, I won't demonstrate all of those applications, but I will show you how to create simple animations in Keynote and PowerPoint, export both formats as usable video, and use a screencast to capture the video you need when exporting isn't an option or when you simply want to have greater control over your animation timing. For this animation project, let's imagine that you want to display these three images in your video, but instead of having them appear all at once, you want them to slide in one at a time and fade out when the scene is over. If you're a Mac user and have Keynote, this is the best program to use for this simple animation project. To create this effect, first open Keynote and select a theme that fits the size of your video. This will usually be a wide theme rather than a standard. It is best to just use a simple background like black or white. If your editing program supports a green screen effect you want to utilize, you can now change your background to green, but for now we'll just stick with white. Insert your images into Keynote using whatever method you choose. Adjust the size and positioning of your objects to how you want them to look when the animation is over. Once you have positions set, use this animation pane on the right to add build-in, action, and build-out effects. Adjust direction and duration. Edit the timing and order of your animation. And preview your work. You will normally want to adjust your build order and timing so that all the elements are triggered from the first build and the entire animation takes place on one click. Once you're satisfied with your animation, go to File, Export to, QuickTime. Select the Self-Playing option. These two options only matter if you haven't set your animation to build all from one click. Select the appropriate format for your project, usually 720p, and click Next. Give your animation an appropriate title and click Export. You can now view your video in QuickTime and import it into an editor of your choice. Creating an animation in PowerPoint is basically the same process, but the names of the elements and the places to locate them are a little different. To make sure your presentation has the right dimensions, go to File, Page Setup, and select Widescreen. Depending on what version of PowerPoint you have, your animation options are probably across the top and become visible by clicking this Animations tab. It may be helpful to know that the build-in, action, and build-out effects are instead called entrance, emphasis, and exit effects in PowerPoint, and the names of the effects may also differ. For example, move in is called fly in PowerPoint, but the effect is essentially the same. If you're using a Windows computer, you can simply export your animation as a video, like we did in Keynote. Go to File, Export, Create a Video, then select your preferences and save. If you're using a Mac computer and don't have Keynote, or if you want to manually control the pace of your animation, you can also just use PowerPoint with a screencasting software such as QuickTime, which comes free on most Macs, to create a screen recording. To do this, you will first need to set up your slideshow to display in its own window. Go to Slideshow, Set up Slideshow, and select Browse by an individual window. Now when you play your slideshow, it will show up in a separate window that is easily captured by a screencast. Now that you have your separate window up, open QuickTime and go to File, New Screen Recording. Click the red button, Drag your mouse over the window with your PowerPoint, start recording, and play your animation. When done, stop QuickTime recording by clicking the stop icon, which has now appeared on your taskbar at the top of your screen. Save the video in the dialog box that comes up, and it's ready to import into your editor of choice. I hope this video has been useful to you in your video project and in overcoming your animation woes. Thanks for watching.